Now, Fortnite just laid off over 1,000 people, which is weird because this is the game that basically prints money, or at least it used to. I talk a lot about the Fortnite Syndrome, how every studio wants to be them, every chick wants to be with them. And today I want to talk about what happens when you actually get to there. Before buckle seatbelts and little kissy Kansas bye-bye, thanks very much for joining me. I'm your host, Bishop, part-time narrator, full-time liability, and this is your friendly reminder that success doesn't scale forever. So yeah, Epic Games just cut 1,000+ jobs, and the reason is that Fortnite isn't pulling the same numbers it used to. I'd say it's far from that, but it's just a little bit less. And apparently that's enough, or not enough, depending on how you look at it. Here's the part that matters. They straight up said they were spending more than they were making. Think about that. The biggest live service game in the world cannot sustain itself at the level it built itself. Now, I don't think this is a Fortnite problem. I think this is what happens when one game completely changes what success looks like. So time traveling here. Once upon a time, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds made Battle Royale popular. Fortnite team has been working on this since 2011, but just a few months later after PUBG, they made it everything, right? The accessibility, the constant updates, collabs, skins. It wasn't just a game, it became a system. We'll get back to this in a bit. And then the industry saw that and went, hey, I want a piece of that pie, you know? Studios, publishers, suits, everyone caught a case of the Fortnite Syndrome. So in layman terms, it's a room full of suits staring at spreadsheets going, we'll give you 1,500 people, a few million bucks. Can you make one of those Fortnite money printers go drrrr? Now, it doesn't really matter what the game is all about. As long as it has a live service, a battle pass, some daily engagement, constant updates for every game, skins, sweatshop, and weird collabs that clearly do not fit the genre, it doesn't really matter. If it doesn't fit the game, it's secondary, as long as it fits the model. And that's the part that people miss. You can't just copy the outcome. You have to copy the conditions that made it work. Now, Fortnite also hit a perfect storm, right? It was at the right time. It was a great expansion from PUBG. They were developing it since 2011. Streaming was exploding that year. It was 2017, if I'm not mistaken. Social gaming taking over, third-person shooter with a bazillion crossovers, and it evolved just enough to stay relevant. But now, even Fortnite is struggling to keep up with itself. It doesn't matter if they add like more modes, more systems, more things to maintain. They're sort of trying to be everything and slowly becoming a little less focused. We talked about this times and times again. A game for everyone becomes a game for no one. And when that slows down, when engagement dips even a little, the whole thing starts cracking, because these games aren't really built to succeed at being fun and entertaining to an extent, right? They're just built to keep growing forever. Line goes up because the suits absolutely love that. Stunks. When the line doesn't go up, you get layoffs, you get cuts, you get restructuring. Someone will say, would someone think about the developers? I mean, you should, but let's be real. They saw this coming a mile away, especially when they're in the teams. It's not like they're on breadcrumbs per year, exit strategy. I'm pretty sure they'll bounce back. I wish him nothing but the best. So now you got an entire industry chasing something that even the OG can't fully sustain. Think about it. What do you mean you cannot make another Fortnite? Epic Games built this in a cave with a box of scraps.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm not Tony Stark.
That's where it starts bleeding into everything, right? Games aren't just games anymore. They're systems, they're these loops, retention machines. And the weird part is, it doesn't stay in the boardrooms or the spreadsheets. It ends up right here where we are. When you sit down to play, you don't ask, what do you feel like playing? You ask, what needs to be done? That's what's on the checklist. What's about to expire, what's the battle pass, how many days I have until completing this or that, what game needs me to log in today to complete something, whatever. And at some point, you're not really playing anymore, right? You're just maintaining it, this system. And I don't think that happened by accident. I think this is what happens when an entire industry starts chasing something it doesn't fully understand. Suits, I'm looking at you. But that's a conspiracy for another time. Thanks very much for riding shotgun. Bish signing out.